When it comes time to process area formula, you need to know a couple of things. Number one, area is the number of grids or squares that cover a region. So if I measured in inches, the grids would be square inches. If I measured in feet, the area would be square feet. If I measured in yards, the area would be square yards, etc. And correctly stated, every area is a number of square units. So if I measured in if I measured lengths and widths in miles, the final answer would be square miles. So here's the way it plays out. Anytime that you process a problem that requires you to calculate an area, then you're required to do one thing followed by another, followed by another. First of all, I should have the representative descriptive formula for the area. So this is a trapezoid on the roof, so I'm going to write the trapezoid's formula. So here's the problem that we're going to process. A section of roof is in the shape of a trapezoid. The top base of the trapezoid is 24 feet. The bottom base of the trapezoid is 42 feet, and the height of the trapezoid is 22 feet. Find the area of the section of roof. So we're trying to find this area right here, the trapezoid that we can see on the front of the house. Number one, I write the formula. Underneath the formula, I replace each letter with a value if I know the value. So do I know the value of A? No, I don't. That's what I'm searching for. So I simply copy the A. Copy the equal sign. Copy the 1/2 because it's part of the formula. Copy the parenthesis for the same reason. It's part of the formula. B1 is the length either of the bottom or the top. It doesn't matter. So I'll use the bottom. It said it was 42. B2 is the other parallel piece. So if I call B1 the piece down at the gutters and the eave, then B2 is the ridge line up here, which is 24. Then a parenthesis because the formula requires a parenthesis, and then the value of the height. Now I might put a time sign right there because I understand that formulas always indicate multiplication when there's no operation present. So the height, it said, was a 22. So step one, write the formula. Step two, substitute in the formula, and then go to some blank white area. Leave yourself a little space here. You'll see why in a moment, and do the calculation. So I am supposed to do the parenthesis first. It's the old please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I think I could do this in my head. That would be 66. So I'm now going to put a time sign, and then 66, and then another time sign, and a 22. Now, most people would probably calculate 66 times 22, and then find that answer, and then take half of that. By the way, notice the meaning of fraction. Break in 2, take 1. So find this answer and divide it by 2. That's the 1/2 meaning. I would do it in a wiser way. I would think of this as being 1/2 times 22 times 66. In multiplication, I can always rearrange the factors, and it won't affect the outcome. I would do 11 times 66. The reason I would do that is because I'm just so stinking smart. No, I've done this enough times that I was looking ahead, and I know that 66 times 11 would be an easy problem to do because of the double-digit ones. So 1 times 66 is 66. I'd put a placeholder 0, and then 1 times 66 is 66. And then when I added everything together, 0 plus 0 is 0, 6 plus 6 is 12, carry a 1, and then 6 plus 1 is 7. So that would be, well, that's a 6 plus 0, isn't it? That would be 726. Now, back to my process. Copy A one more time, and then the result of my arithmetic, 726. If you write that, you're partially right. Is it $726, 726 people, 726 feet? No, it's 726 square feet. And it must be stated that way. Now, most people would probably do this. They'd do 66 times 22, and it would not be particularly hard to do that. 2 times 6 is 12, carry a 1. 2 times 6 is 12, and 1 is 13. So placeholder 0, and it would be the exact same digit pattern. Draw the line, add everything up. There's a 2, there's a 5, there's a 4, there's a 1, 1,452. But notice that that only calculates the 66 times 22. Now I have to find half of that. Half of 1452. Well, half of 1400 is 700. Half of 52 is 26. I could have done that by traditional long division. That is 1,452. divided by 2, and then out would come the 726. One way or the other, the problem has to look this way. There must be the representative formula, then the substitution into the formula, in another part of your white area, the calculation, and finally, area equals and whatever the calculation is yielded with the correct unit. Here's a problem that I took straight from a STAR test. Evelyn cut a wedge of cheese into the shape of a triangular prism like the one shown below. The shaded part represents one of the bases of the prism. What's the area of the shaded region? So I need to have the correct formula. It's a triangle, so I'm going to put the triangle's area formula. Next, I'm going to substitute into the formula. I don't know A, so I'll simply copy A, copy the equal, copy the 1/2, it's part of the formula, take out the letter B and put the correct value for the base. Now, notice the right angle symbol up here at the top. They didn't draw it for me at the bottom, but I know that it's a right angle there. That tells me that I could consider the 5 to be the base and the 6 to be the height, because that's what the height segment always is. It's the perpendicular, the right-angled segment. So if I call the base 5, I could call the height 6, or I could call the base the 6, and then the height could be the 5. One way or the other, I need to substitute into the formula. Now, if I felt like I needed to, I could come over to the side and do the calculation. I think I could do this just in my head. 6 times 5 is 30, half of 30 is 15, so A is equal to 15. But I better put the correct unit on it because it was measured in centimeters. It's a grid of square centimeters, so the correct answer is 15 square centimeters. Back to the calculation, I could have just gone in order. 1/2 of 6 is 3. 3 times 5 is 15, so it wouldn't matter which way I did it. So, again, when I calculate, first thing to recognize is that it always starts with a representative formula, and what I wanted you to realize in my previous video was that this is a description of how to fill this with grids. How do you process a formula? Replace all the components of the formula with numbers that you know. Process the arithmetic. If you can do it mentally, that's wonderful. If you can't, then you'd get off to the side and you would process it on the side. And if you could do that fraction arithmetic in your head, that's fine. If you can't, you'd realize that 1/2 means break in 2, and so I'd have that. After I process the arithmetic, either in the white space here or mentally, then I have to state what kind of unit I have in my area, square centimeters.